Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in non-aligned summit on tackling COVID-19 meeting via video conferencing, calls on NAM countries to remain inclusive in their efforts against the epidemic, hails India's democratic model, says democracy, discipline, decisiveness have come together to create a genuine people's movement. PM Modi says even as the world fights COVID-19 virus, some people are busy spreading other deadly viruses such as terrorism, fake news and doctored videos to divide communities and countries. Government to bring Indians stranded abroad back home in a phased manner from May 7th. Return to be on board airplanes and naval ships currently abroad. Indian embassies and high commissions to prepare list. Railways are not charging any fare for Shramik trains from workers who are seeking to return to their homes during the lockdown. 85% of charges being borne by railways. State governments expected to pay remaining 15%. No open sale of tickets as state governments to decide who can travel. Active cases of COVID-19 in India stands at 32,138, while 12,726 have been recovered and discharged and 1,568 casualties recorded so far. Group of ministers meets in Delhi today to review the situation. And coronavirus cases increase rapidly worldwide. So far, over 35 lakh people have been infected with coronavirus. More than 2,51,000 people have died. More than 11,80,000 people infected with COVID-19 in America, with more than 69,000 fatalities in the US alone. Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. We are in with latest on DD News and DD India. Let's start with our top story. As the world is fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic, various organizations are joining hands to carve out solutions to come out of the global health crisis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in non-aligned summit on tackling COVID-19 meeting via video conferencing. PM called on NAM countries to remain inclusive in their efforts against the epidemic and hailed India as a leader as humanity faces its most severe crisis in many decades.
PM should call upon the international community and the World Health Organization focus on building health capacity in developing countries. We should ensure equitable, affordable and timely access to health products and technology for all. We should develop a platform for all named countries to pool our experience, best practices, crisis management protocols, research and resources. Excellencies, in the founding spirit of movement, let us aim today to come together, not grow apart. Each of us can be saved from the pandemic only if we all are. Let us work as partners towards an inclusive and cooperative global response.
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi said even as the world fights COVID virus, some people are busy spreading other deadly viruses such as terrorism, fake news and doctored videos to divide communities and countries.
Some people are busy spreading other deadly viruses such as terrorism, such as fake news and doctored videos to divide communities and countries. But today, I want to focus only on the positives.
So, India talked about its democratic model on COVID containment at non-aligned movement NAM meeting. PM said India has shown how democracy and discipline can come together to create genuine people's movement.
During this crisis, we have shown how democracy, discipline and decisiveness can come together to create a genuine people's movement.
Now, here's a quick look at the top 10 takeaways of PM Modi's address in the NAM meet. We'll show you through graphics the 10 main points of his address. So, PM slammed Pakistan without naming it at the non-aligned movement meet. He said, even as we fight COVID virus, some people are busy spreading other deadly viruses such as terrorism, fake news and doctored videos to divide communities and countries. So, India has promoted coordination in immediate neighborhood on COVID. And NAM can help promote global solidarity and it has been world's moral voice. He also said NAM should call on international community and WHO to build health capacity in developing countries. And he said, let us aim to come together, not grow apart. He also mentioned that we have sent medical supplies to over 123 countries, including 59 NAM members. And also Indian PM began with paying condolences to all those who lost loved ones due to COVID-19. Says humanity faces its most serious crisis in decades. And he also said that we need a new template of globalization based on fairness, equality, humanity, and we need to promote human welfare and not focus on economic growth alone. So, many countries organize military drills, but India has taken the initiative to organize disaster management drills. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also highlighted India's efforts in combating COVID-19 pandemic.
India's civilization sees the whole world is as one family. As we care for our own citizens, we are also extending help to other countries. To counter COVID-19, we have promoted coordination in our immediate neighborhood and we are organizing online training to share India's medical expertise with many others. India is regarded as a pharmacy of the world, especially for affordable medicines. Despite our own needs, we have ensured medical supplies to over 123 partner countries, including 59 members of NAM.
An update on the coronavirus new cases now. Active cases of COVID-19 in the country has reached 32,138. So 12,726 people have been cured and discharged, while 1,568 people have died due to the virus so far. Maharashtra continues to be the hardest hit state with total of 14,541. Gujarat has reported 5,428 and Delhi 4,549 cases so far. With more than 500 cases reported yesterday, total number of cases in Tamil Nadu have crossed 3,500. And briefing media yesterday, Health Ministry informed that 1,074 patients cured from the disease yesterday. Ministry also informed that the recovery rate stands currently at 27.52%. Meanwhile, the Union Group of Ministers meeting on COVID-19 is underway at the Health Ministry to review the current situation, and Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat is also present at the meeting. As we have entered the third phase of the lockdown, government is now working towards facilitating the return of Indian nationals stranded abroad. The operation will be conducted on compelling grounds in a phased manner. The operation will begin from May 7th and the travel would be arranged by aircraft and naval ships. A standard operating procedure has already been prepared. Indian embassies and high commissions are preparing a list of distressed Indian citizens. This facility would be made available on payment basis, and non-scheduled commercial flights would be arranged for air travel. And the passengers will be screened before they board the flight, and only asymptomatic passengers will be allowed to travel. And upon reaching, everyone will have to register on the mobile app, which is Arogya Setu app. They will be screened once again, and after the screening, the passengers will be quarantined for 14 days. They will be kept either in a hospital or in an institutional quarantine. Another round of tests would be done after 14 days, depending upon what further action would be taken according to health protocols. And the Ministry of External Affairs and Civil Aviation would share detailed information about it through its websites. State governments have been advised to make arrangements including testing, quarantine and further movements of the returning Indians in their respective states. Moving on now, railways are not charging any fare from workers who are seeking to return to their homes during the lockdown. 85% of charges being borne by railways. State governments are expected to pay remaining 15%. Shramik trains are being operated on the request of state governments, and no open sale of tickets as state governments to decide who can travel.
These are those labourers who have been stranded in different states after lockdown came into force. Now that they are finally getting chance to go home, the happiness writ large on their faces. On the request of states, the centre and railways have made these arrangements. But politics has started on the return of stranded labourers. Reports of stranded labourers being charged for their fare of return journey home from different states has led to political slugfest, and the centre has clarified that no charges are being levied from labourers.
Government of India हो या रेलवेज हो, किसी भी कोशिश में हमने कभी भी कोई भी वर्कर से चार्ज करने की बात नहीं की है। हमने 85% जो पूरी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का कॉस्ट बियर किया जाता है, वह 85% जो है वो रेलवेज बियर करती हैं, 15% स्टेट को बियर करना है।
Railways are running Shramik special trains for movement of stranded persons on the request from concerned state governments. Railways and state governments have appointed nodal officers for coordination and smooth operation. Passengers have to mandatorily wear face cover, follow social distancing norms and other precautions. Congress party's offer to pay for the tickets of migrant workers becomes meaningless with the railways and state governments sharing the cost of travel of migrant workers. With political slugfest on this issue at its peak, BJP has attacked the Congress on this issue and alleged that Congress was playing politics over such a sensitive issue. Meanwhile, chief ministers of several states have lauded the initiative of the centre and said that in this time of crisis, the centre has taken this sensitive step. Several states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh have talked of bearing the entire cost, while there are some states who have not yet taken any decision in this regard. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said that the state government will bear the expenses of the workers returning home. Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, also talked of bearing the entire cost of labourers' journey back home. In its directives, Kerala government has said that those who can afford it should be charged for the travel. Railways, in the running of these special trains, has ensured to follow the coronavirus lockdown rules and has put one berth in every coach empty, following physical distancing rules. Trains are fully locked till the time migrant labourers reach their destination, and on return, the entire train comes empty. According to railway sources, migrant workers are given free food and bottled drinking water. Meanwhile, those migrant workers are reaching their destination are first screened by the local administration and then sent to the quarantine center. Bureau Report, DD News.
Right, so Railways not charging any fare from the workers or the labourers. Moving on, the Khadi and Village Industries Commission, which is KVIC, on Monday said that it is contemplating legal action against companies selling personal protective equipment kits by fraudulently using Khadi India brand name. The KVIC has clarified that it has so far not launched any PPE kit in the market. KVIC Chairman Vinay Kumar Saxena said that the KVIC has developed its own PPE kit made of Khadi fabric, which is at various levels of testing. At present, KVIC is only manufacturing and distributing specially designed Khadi face masks that conform to the highest safety standards. KVIC is using double-twisted Khadi fabric for manufacturing of these masks, as it helps retain 70% of the moisture content inside. Further, these masks are made of hand-spun and hand-woven Khadi fabric, which is breathable, washable and biodegradable. Moving on, the nationwide lockdown has sent educational institutions across the country to hibernation for a long time. However, HRD Ministry has taken several steps to keep students and teachers on track through online classes and training. Rajiv Gandhi University in Arunachal Pradesh is keeping updated through webinars and online classes. Let's have a look.
As the fight against COVID-19 continues in the current situation, universities and colleges are making the use of internet and digital technologies as one of the top priority for their teachers and students. Government is also emphasizing on training and skill development of teachers in the digital tools. A few days ago, faculty members of Rajiv Gandhi University and different colleges were assembled for a webinar, but this time through digital tools and use of laptops.
Yes, ma'am, you can ask your question.
First of all, it was very informative and very, I think it's very helpful. The whole lecture was very...
The system of webinar has now become very important in the midst of COVID-19 crisis.
During this lockdown, we are unable to have face-to-face contact with the students. So we are facing very difficult in teaching learning process. We got very good response from all over the India. And not only from India, we have participants from Dubai also and Malaysia. 2 participants from Malaysia and 1 participant from Dubai. The objective of this program is to make the teachers learn how to take class with the participants, with the students, without face-to-face mode.
If we stop learning, either the teachers or the students, it will be disastrous to the whole society. So we thought of learning to continue even this is distress, and that's why we have contextualized this kind of workshop. We have organized this workshop on the faculty development program to equip our teachers, to skill our teachers to better use this online platforms.
Sanjay Pratap Singh, DD News, Itanagar.
Moving on, Mahatma Gandhi International Hindi University of Maharashtra's Wardha district has developed a unique technology for the prevention of global epidemics like corona by building a fully automated nursing robot in continuation of its social responsibility. Weighing 13 kgs, this robot can deliver over 25 kgs of essential goods to patients by maintaining social and physical distance. Robot creator Aparnesh Shukla built it using the scrap material contained within the university during lockdown. He said that device is being made at a very low cost and will prove to be big and important relief in the crisis of corona.
लॉकडाउन के दौरान ही घर में पड़े कुछ खिलौनों से और कुछ अपने इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आइटम से रिमोट कंट्रोल डिस्पेंसर मशीन का ये प्रोटोटाइप और बेस मॉडल तैयार है. इसमें कई और डेवलपमेंट होने हैं, जैसे कि थर्मल स्कैनर, और जितने भी डेवलपमेंट इसमें ज़रूरी हैं वो मेडिकल स्टाफ के सुझाव के द्वारा इसमें और जोड़े जा सकते हैं. किसी भी मेडिकल स्टाफ्स को छोटी छोटी चीज़ों को, जैसे कि खाना, पानी, दवा, कंबल और भी ऐसी चीज़ें जो बहुत ज़्यादा एसेंशियल नहीं है पेशेंट्स के लिए, वो देने के लिए उनके पास ना जाना पड़े, जो कि एक सबसे बड़ा रीज़न है उनका इन्फेक्ट होने का.
So the global death toll due to the virus crossed 2.5 lakh mark with a total of 35,84,118 cases reported globally. Meanwhile, countries are gradually coming back to activity after a considerable spell of dormancy while ensuring that proper measures are in place to avoid further spread of the virus. In USA, senators returned to Washington for the first time in nearly 6 weeks amid concerns that their legislative sessions could put lawmakers and staff at risk of contracting the new coronavirus. With the resumption of the Senate, party leaders raised partisan differences over the next step in how to combat the pandemic. Democrats and Republicans are at odds over the contents of any new coronavirus legislation, while Democrats want up to $1 trillion to help state and local governments. The Republicans, on the other hand, are demanding liability protections for businesses as a condition for moving forward on any bill. With Washington still under a stay-at-home order, lawmakers were advised by the congressional physician to wear masks, stay 6 feet apart and limit the number of staff on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, in New York, the City Metropolitan Transportation Authority workers disinfected trains during the coronavirus pandemic as the city struggles to keep the virus at bay. New York City's subway is taking the unprecedented step of halting overnight service in order to clean train cars, a likely prelude to bigger changes as the largest U.S. mass transit system works to rebound from a pandemic that has slashed ridership. The city has been the nation's epicenter in the pandemic, and the U.S. coronavirus tally now stands at 11,80,634 coronavirus cases and 68,934 deaths, with New York alone registering 19,057 deaths. Moving ahead, the European Union co-hosted a COVID-19 pledging conference with the aim to raise billions to fund the coronavirus vaccine and treatment research. Now, with most of Europe moving towards easing lockdown restrictions, countries have found their own way of tackling with the lockdown easing. As Italy moves into phase 2 of its lockdown, with 4.4 million returning to work after being confined since early March, Spaniards also have been allowed to exercise outside their homes for the first time in over 6 weeks. Our correspondent from Brussels, Lucy Howe, reports on the overall European situation.
The EU is co-hosting a COVID-19 pledging conference aiming to raise more than 7.5 billion euros, which will be directed to health organisations. The aim is to plug gaps in finance resources with a race against the clock to find a vaccine. Italy was the first European country to impose a nationwide lockdown, and it's now taken some steps towards normality, albeit tentative ones. Offices have been allowed to reopen, but employers will have to maintain social distancing, and some workers will be asked to wear face masks. Spain, too, is starting to loosen its confinement for the first time since the lockdown was imposed in mid-March. That's following a continued decrease in both the number of deaths and admissions to intensive care. Lucy Hoff, Doordarshan News, Brussels.
And Israel has isolated a key coronavirus antibody at its main biological research laboratory, the Israeli Defense Minister said on Monday, calling this step a significant breakthrough toward a possible treatment for the COVID-19 pandemic. Defense Minister Naftali Bennett said in a statement, the monoclonal neutralizing antibody developed at the Israel Institute for Biological Research can neutralize coronavirus inside carriers' bodies. According to IIBR director, the antibody formula was being patented, after which an international manufacturer would be sought to mass produce it. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has said his country has been successfully containing and controlling the COVID-19 threat, addressing the online summit-level meeting of non-aligned movement contact group for COVID. Rajapaksa said out of the total PCR tests conducted so far, only 3% has been confirmed as infected, and the death rate is at a very low level of 0.97%. The country recorded its 8th COVID death yesterday, while 194 people have been cured out of total 755 infections. Most of the new cases tested positive are from Velisara Navy camp, where over 300 Navy personnel have tested positive over past 2 weeks. Well, that's all we have on this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.